Alrighty, welcome to another live stream, even though I wasn't going to make one today. But curiosity just wins over me. So, we're coming back to this binary Nixie clock, and we fired it up for the first time, and it has some issues. Uh, so, we're going to determine what its problem is. So, let's plug it in. So, off camera, I wanted to make sure that certain things were in a certain order, so I made sure that all the resistors were in their appropriate spot, and I got all the resistors spot on. They are where they're supposed to be, and so on and so forth. So I also was doing a little chip swapping and this, that, and the other thing. So I got one thing to change from the performance on Friday. So we'll plug this in, and we'll take a look at this. So if you remember last stream there, these 6 LEDs on the right hand side here were flashing in doubles. So screwing around the chips here, now it's only every other one is flashing. So there's still a problem in the in this 1 hertz display area. So more than likely it's probably there's a problem with some chips in here. They're probably bad, and it's not playing nice. So this section here pretty much gets run from this chip over to here. So there's a problem somewhere in them chips. I did a little Swaptronics. I can't get it to do anything different other than what it is. So, with that said, the next problem is I'm not sure if the binary section is working correctly because the Nixie section is not working correctly. So, I do know one thing positively: the hour section is working 100%. So, if I advance the time, these buttons are a little janky. So all the digits are lighting up on the Nixie section for the hour side. So if you're watching the minute side and the second side, you see there's some clear issues with them 2 circuits right there. So we established that little issue. Now the next problem is, and it's on the second side and the minute side, when the seconds reach 40 seconds, it's tripping the next digit in the minute section. And the same thing when the minute section is going to like the 40-minute mark. So once it hits the 40-minute mark, it's tripping the hours. So there's an issue up here too. So there's 2 issues up here. One, we got skipping digits. And sometimes it skips and sometimes it don't. Like right now I got it powered up, it's not skipping. But you can see that the Nixies are going on and off. They shouldn't be doing that. So there's a problem either in the chips, or there's a combination of the chips are made something wrong with the chips, or there's something wrong with the transistors. So that's an issue that needs to be addressed. So, hi Pete, what's going on? So we got an issue down here where every other LED is coming on, so there's a problem down here. We established that the hours is working pretty good, but when this thing is reaching 40, so we'll watch this thing come up to 40 and you'll see it trip to 2 if it'll light. And then when this thing reaches 0, it'll trip it again. So that's going to be a problem. So it's probably either a transistor issue or a chip problem. So it's tripping. So it's not supposed to do that. It's going to keep lousy time. So it's advancing 2 minutes a minute. So it ain't going to keep very good time like that. So, with that said, and then on top of that, some of the digits are not lighting up. So if I advance the digits here for the minute section, you're going to see the Nixie going on and off. Like the this one's going on and off. So the 2 stays off. The 3 will come back on. Four stays off, and then if you've seen the 4, it tripped the hour. Five comes back on, and then it's going to trip the hour again once it hits 0. So that's not a good sign. So there's probably issues with the chips and or transistors, and then the whole button holds the time. So to rule out transistors, we're going to pull out these guys here and test them. Probably won't do any good, I don't know, but to rule out if any of them are bad. Yeah, I just got done watching the Def Palm Mailbag Monday just prior to firing up this silly little stream. So we're going to yoke out some of these transistors and test them. So we don't, like I said, we don't need to yank them all out. But so one set of transistors powers controls one Nixie, the second set controls the other, and stuff like that. So let's yoke some out. And see, and then we can rule out transistor problems. So this is going to be one of them deals where this is going to absolutely suck. So I can't test it in the board because I don't have probes small enough to test them. I have to get the big soldering gun out. Might have to hot air them out, because that solder sucker is not the best. Probably what I'm going to have to do is hot air them out. So I'll get that out. If I can reach it. So this kit definitely turned into a Nixie clock Yana, where it's plagued with problems. This is probably one of them basket cases where you just say screw it and just get another kit. No. So, is going to be the only way to get them out. Well, too much trouble. Going to be a lot faster than the sucker, that's for sure. Probably because the holes are too small for the air to get through. There's actually other people watching this crazy thing? I can't believe it. Okay, 6 more for this section, and then we can test them. And if these test good, then there's something wrong with the chips. You ever hear back from Nick there, Pete? There were 3, I scared him away, yeah. Okay. So that takes care of that batch of Nixies. I mean, Nixie transistor, because that's what drives the Nixies is in transistors. So we get our little China Pride transistor tester out. I'll test these. Test has a NPN. This lead's always a pain. NPN. All the numbers look the same. No, I haven't spoken to him for a while. If this doesn't work, you can mail it, and he will help. He's great for that. I'll be giving away 6 ET1s for his Fortra clock. I'll have to do a video this week. Jim has sent me a surprise. Is that Jim O? Yeah, I watched his video on this particular clock. So I wanted to get, he had some good close-up shots of where the chips were. So, spot on with the chips. So that's what it's currently looking at right now, is some of these chips are bad. Because these transistors are not testing bad. Because all the numbers on the right hand side of the screen are all fairly matched. Of course, I imagine that these chips ain't really that much money. They're probably common chips. So this one tests kind of weird. So this one's got a, this one's the only one different. So we got an HFE of, oh, no, that's not testing weird now. At first it tested weird. Yeah, that one's alright. I thought it was weird. Be nice if Nick seen this stream and said, "Oh, one of my clocks is a dud." Of course, you had yours pre-made, so I built mine. So that's not fair. It was a great price. So I don't think any of these transistors are bad. It's got to be the chips. Nick, send me a chipset. So all these transistors tested out good. But we clearly seen that the Nixies weren't being driven properly. And that the time was skipping ahead at 40 seconds and then again at 60. So, that batch of transistors tests okay. This other batch should probably test out okay too. Wish I had something to stand this up with. How about this thing? Nah, don't stick out far enough. Damn it. Too heavy. Is it too heavy? Yeah, this hot air blower don't make a lot of noise. I got it on pretty low too. It's only on a 3 out of 8. Really, the only thing you hear in the background running is the fan, the big fan running for the broom. Because it gets hot in here. It gets pretty warm in here with the computer running and the freezers in here, so there's a lot of heat generated. It gets stuffy in here quick. Yeah, there's nobody parked in the driveway across the street from the driveway either today. So I guess a person of that vehicle was located up the street. But there was all kinds of parking to park, in front of the house and not, across the driveway. Because this particular street, you're only allowed to park on one side of the street year round. So everybody parks on the even side of the street, which happens to be the side of the street I am on. Because there's signs all over the opposite side that says no parking. Because it's a narrow street. Yeah, I still heal up pretty quick, even though I'm 47 years old. Okay, and it takes care of that set of the known part of the clock that has issues. So we determined that the seconds, there's got to be something wrong with the chips that drives them. This side's got an issue because it doesn't drive the Nixies properly, and it is skipping the seconds. And at the 40-second mark, it's tripping the minute. So that's not good. Because you don't know until you test. So I didn't know one of these transistors were bad or was triggering something else weird. Because you don't know. I don't know what these things do. I just dabble in this electronic stuff. I don't know exactly what these things do. I know the transistor turns things on and off, but I'm not like the Def Pound. All I can do is come across to see if there's anything obvious. So we know it's a chip issue for the 1 hertz generator because there's no other components to drive them, LEDs. Just sent Nick an email and see if he's up. I hope you're watching this, Nick. I hope you do watch this. This one's the diagnostic ones. tested all the resistors. They all belong where they are supposed to be. We're going to check out some of these chips on Mauser to see what they do and what they are. These all so far are testing out all the same. Or pretty close to the same. There's no anomalies. There's nothing that's screaming out, I'm bad or I'm no good. So these suckers, if I were ever to put them back in, I would never put them back in. I would get a set of new ones. Just because they would have gone through 3 heat cycles. First one putting it in, the second one yanking them out, and the third one putting them back in if you wanted to. Because there's still a lot of... I would have to clean all these up. Get them back in the holes. This rules out. This narrows it right down to the chips. Because you figured that something like this would be, if it was shorted out inside, it would create havoc and maybe demonstrate the behavior that this thing's doing. But if the chip's not driving the transistor properly, it's not going to show properly, because from what I've seen, the binary and the Nixies are tied into the same circuit. So of course, I'm not a binary guy, so it'd take me a while to learn the binary. But if it's skipping the digits, it's skipping in binary too. So nothing wrong with the transistors. So we ruled out that issue. So we narrowed it down to chips have a problem. So what are these chips? So some of these chips, of course there's several different flavors of these chips. So we'll check some of these chips out on Mauser. So let's see. Of course, I already looked up some of these part numbers, so it'd be easier to find them. Let's see. 05N. Did I look that one up yet? Yes, I did. So what are these? Like the SN74LS05N. What are you? Buffers and line drivers. It's a buffer driver. Dependable and well, I don't know if these are from Texas Instruments. Are they Texas? Probably not. These got an M on them. What are they? Motorola? Definitely not TI. I know that. Hex inverters with open collector outputs. Logic diagram. Okay. So next one would be $37ANs. These 37ANs are logic gates. How much are they? Oh, these are the most expensive ones. $489 for a logic gate chip? Wow. Because there's a bunch of them. $74AN. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's at least 4 of them. So they would be almost $20 a pop. Change them for. What are you anyway? Quadruple 2-input positive NAND buffers. That's interesting. Let's see, 74F112s. What are you? Flip-flops. Obsolete. J-K negative edge triggered flip-flop. Okay. What else do we got? So what's the alternative? One checkbox. Okay. So we want that one. That one, that one. Too bad I can't select them all. And through hole. Show similar. No products? What the hell? So we would have to do a regular search on here for a dual JK negative edge triggered flip-flop. Okay, so we would have to find an alternative to flip-flops, because them are obsolete. So they're kind of oddballs. How about these 20 ends? What are these buggers? I don't think this one come up. Nope. This is one of the ones I didn't find. What's the Google search? Let's search Google. Google will know. Mauser don't know. You suck, Mauser. What are you? What are you? Dual 4-input NAND buffer. So that would be definitely have to do a search on Mauser with these specifics. I don't think they're, other than that one chip, I don't think they're a lot of money. Yeah, this is one of the, definitely one of them things where, you know, he has all the chips right on hand. Because there's an obvious problem with these guys. I don't mind, you know, I would buy all the transistors. As for the other chips there, yeah. That's a hassle. That's a hassle. So, let's see, turn that off or burn something down. Of course, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning making a video of my, especially the blood lantern. So let's see here. Actually, I'll bring the first part up. Solar flagpole light. And we'll come over here. We'll start panning down to the new hurricane lanterns that have been retrofitted with LEDs. Exquisite. So I started off with the single LEDs in here, and wasn't really satisfied with them. So I upgraded them to them 3 LED per spotlight floodlights and installed them into them, and the light output is exquisite. Unbelievable. So it's a little hard to see the light patterns out here because of all the light pollution, but I think you can kind of get, yeah, like right there. So we're looking at the bottom side of this one. You can see the light pattern from this one. So quite extensive. Shines over here on the bushes. And we get the light output from the other one. There's a control box in there. And then all this light coming out of these things. Incredible. So it's actually almost washing out the number. Let's see if we can fix that. There we go. Look at that cast. So you got the light output from this one. And that one. Goes all the way over to the door. That is amazing. Incredible. Wow. I really like them. And then in a couple of weeks, one's going to be red and one of them is going to be green. Very nice. Let's take a look at the backyard. So that was the front one, which turned out to be excellent, especially after I upgraded from that single diode to triple diode spot lamp, flood lamp, whatever you want to call these things. So now we'll take a look at the backyard. So we'll start off with our classic single diode. These are 100% solar powered out here in the backyard in the shed. So these are still operating awesomely. Of course, they've been slightly upgraded to no longer using the smaller solar panels with the lithium battery. So I upgraded to the shed power solar system. So that's what these guys are running on. So very nice light output from these for a single cell, or I should say single diode. So you can see the light pattern from them. Very nice. Lights up a lot. So there's the underside of the warm white one, so you can see the light cast from them, and you can kind of see another light cast. But we'll focus that on in a little bit. So very nice output from them. I like them. So now we're going to talk about the blood lantern. So if you see my live stream Sunday, a couple of Sundays ago, or the Friday, where I explained how I cut my fingers. So this is the one that I cut my fingers on. And this has been automatically put with the 3 LED flood lamps, spot lamps on this one. Look at that output. Incredible. Look at that cast. That's a couple of feet. That's got to be at least 6 or 7 feet. So definitely kind of like sprinkler pattern, where the cast overlaps the adjoining lantern. Incredible. And look at that pattern on the ground.
Very nice. So we're going to stand right, just about right under this thing. And we're going to check out the cast. Look at that. That is about 8 feet. It goes right up to the antenna mast over there. So that is the cast ring from this one, the blood lantern. So let's see if I can focus it. There it is. So I took this cap off right here and tried to drill a hole in it. So I uncrimped this so it would make it a little easier to work on. Well, it did make it easier, but I got them two little buggers. So you can just imagine that uncrimped part, sharp as a knife, spinning on your fingers. So we won't focus too much in on that. We got the story of that. So here's the very nice. This one turned out real nice. Incredible light output for homemade and being solar. And since these ones are on that 50 amp hour battery, yeah, these babies are going to burn all night, just as bright as when they turn on at sunset. Because up there's the 5 amp solar panel. It recharges that 50 amp hour battery. Very nice. Fantastic light output, especially from the new one, the blood lamp. Look at that.
Yeah, so that was what I was working on early this morning. So they are bright. Having a 3 LED diode spot lamp, flood lamp in them things is quite different. You sort of see the difference between the two, especially when they're almost side by side. And yeah, they are bright. So are they costly? Well, not really. I mean, if you run it off the system that it come with, they're not really a lot of money. So the lamp itself, it was only $21.95 on Amazon. So not a huge lot of money. I mean, they're not the the real nice ones, like Dietz or the real old school lanterns and stuff like that. They're kind of like a hobby / like a party decorative. They're more decorative than they do work, but they're more of a decoration really. And them spotlights, I bought like a 4-pack of them. So the 4-pack of them was like $49.79, but I got them all during that Prime Day deal, so they were down a little bit. Like these guys, they got like a 10% off, so I stuffed them in there. Now when I tested them, they're about each light draws half an amp on full brightness, so a 2 amp hour 18650 is definitely not going to run all night. So I definitely hooked that in to my 12 volt solar system in the shed there, because you got to have, if you want something like that to run all night, you got to have a big solar setup to run that any kind of solar light out there properly, because Like them XM cozies that are sitting all along the yard there, they don't burn bright all night, just because. And on top of that, this time of the year, there ain't a lot of sunlight, so they don't get charged all day long. So if they don't charge fully all in the day, they don't burn all night. So something that would draw half a watt, half an amp, will draw down at 18650 in a hurry. So, like for me, that solar setup, that's the big ticket item. So you got to have the 12 volt solar panel. So that was that 100 watt solar panel, that was $80, and then you got to buy the charge controller for it to charge a 12 volt lithium iron phosphate battery. So that 50 amp hour battery that replaced that other one that I had, that was quite costly. Then you got to have the buck converter to buck the 12 volt down to 4 volts to run that controller box that I got set up with the buck converter and the LDR setup relay system. So that stuff was only a couple of bucks. So if you don't already have that stuff, it's quite costly to actually copy what I have. But you get enough of the I guess if you don't care if it burns all night, then it really doesn't really matter. So let's see what else is going on. Friday live stream is going to start introducing into the Christmas stuff. So I got a big box of Christmas decor coming for the big tree that is going to be put up literally a week for, let's see, on the 28th I'm going to start putting that up. So I wanted to decorate that Christmas during the daytime so it looks good during the daytime. So I bought commercial grade Christmas balls, kind of like the glass balls, but they're shatterproof, so they're plastic. And they're shiny, and they come in red, gold, and green, and a couple of different sizes. So I think it's 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 6 or something like that. So you get a box of over 100 of them. So that was quite costly, that sucker, because I've been waiting for them to come back in stock, and that little box is it was over $600. So, and on top of that, the snowflakes that I had in an earlier live stream, so that was probably another $50. So that'll be going on a tree. So probably I'll have a daily. Well, it'll be a daily 4 o'clock for a little while of me bringing the tree out and fluffing it and testing the lights and see if any of them are bad, because the main tree, that's still incandescent, so there's a lot of maintenance with that sucker, because that tree is, I think it's 15 years old now, so that needs a lot of maintenance twice a year. So when I bring it out, I got to test the light. When I put it away, I test the lights to make sure that they're good. So every once in a while, the Light Keeper Pro does save the tree, but every once in a while, I got to have a little bit more power to zap the lights back on to see what is out, and then repair that. And then it'll be getting that erected and putting out all the stuff, testing out all the lights. So it's a lot of work to do. So I like to get done early. So I start last week of October, because Christmas is it's only about 5 weeks away from Black Friday, so it's a short holiday season for most. So let's see, I was checking out that circuitry for that 1 hertz generator. So that was let's see, that's the power supply. So, like I said, every other LED is coming on. And so diode 11, 13 and 15 are not coming on, so 12, 14, 16 are working. So whatever changed when I was screwing around with them chips, because if you remember, Pete, that the two LEDs were coming on at the same time. And on the schematic here, they're supposed to be separated. So definitely something's up with the SN74LS112ANs. So them flip-flops. I think that was the flip-flop one. And, or maybe there's something wrong, something up with the SN74LS So something's up with that. We know that the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the 10 diode on the left-hand side, that's all working right with them chips on that side. So then I was checking out to see the Nixie drivers. So that gets a little complicated, but it's kind of easy to figure out. But for whatever reason, for that one that's every once in a while when it gets plugged in on the seconds, it skips seconds. So something's not triggering that transistor to fire up that whatever particular digit in the Nixie. And then whatever makes it trip over to like the 40-second mark to trip over to the next minute. And then in the minutes, when it gets to 40, it trips the hour. So something's up with them chips. So I'll have to, if you got Nick's email that to me so I can email him so I don't have to search for it. Not that it's a big deal, like I can't do it. Just easier for me. So let's see, how did we perform today? Yeah, pretty lousy. We had a brief 4 viewers with only one that remains, and that's Pete. So Pete, I appreciate you hanging out with me. My other subscribers don't friggin' come here. I don't know if they've even watched the replays, because I check out the YouTube analytics, and it's quite pathetic that the subscribers, I got over 1,000 of them, but they don't watch anything other than a handful of them. So maybe 3 or 4 keep coming back to watch the replays or watch my other videos. So I'll have to cut up the live stream to separate that outdoor light project and make that into a separate video that virtually nobody will watch. The only one that would be interesting that is Dynatrack, because that's where I got that Hurricane Lantern idea from. So definitely I won't take no credit for being the genius who made that, but I took it to the extreme and made them super solar powered. So I got all the stuff to make the front one solar powered. The only thing that is on my mind is there enough sunlight during the day to recharge that Roy Powell battery to run them? That I don't know. That may be one of them deals where it runs for a couple of days and then you got to boost the battery with a regular charger. Not that it's a big deal. I can wire that in and use a smart plug to trigger that with a couple of diodes on the battery side, so that don't fry anything. Okay, Pete, we'll see you later. And with that said, we'll end the live stream here. So tune in to Friday live stream. We'll have a big box of balls. So until then, take care, and we'll see you then.